And welcome back to the Oceania Challenger Series for 2019. We are into game number 5 of the day.
Yep.
And we've had some mixing matches, you know. Had some stomps, we had some close ones.
Yes.
It is going to be Chief Academy versus UTS up in this game.
Continuing our restaurant metaphor from earlier in the night.
Okay, what you got?
I'm
the
a
main
very
course,
confusing.
you're the entree.
It's been a very confusing day. We've had entrees and then mains and then entrees afterwards.
Yeah. Who's dessert?
It'd be the last game of the night, assuming.
Yeah.
You know, dessert, good or bad, always comes at the end. But we have UTS versus the Chiefs. UTS last week had a close back and forth sort of loss. Just lost. They only lost.
Almost a win.
Almost a win versus Dire Cubs. They were very far behind early.
Yeah.
But they 50-50 two Barons. Slowly made their way back into the game. Unfortunately lost.
Yeah. And I do think it was Fuzzy Zola in the mid lane that was really like kind of standing tall that game.
I think he was like 4-0, 4-1 on the Akali. So we'll see whether Akali gets taken off the table. Chief Academy, on the other hand, sort of had the inverse. Yeah. Where they were winning a whole bunch, but they had one member who was perhaps slowing the game down a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately for Thien, he's the man with probably the most experience, given he has been given, like, he's the OPL roster sub, he's played OPL, he's been given that time, and yes, of course, is in-house as well, but had a bit of a roughie, ironically, on the Akali once again, but they were hard winning that game. This was an Ornn Taric, they were getting 2v2 kills in the bottom side, but every time he TP'd in,
getting picked off on the side.
Yep.
Which was unfortunate, but Chief Academy looked pretty good, I think, last week. They had a really good draft. Executed quite well on it also. So I'm looking at Chief Academy this game to see whether their draft is of high quality again and whether they can put another win on the board.
Like, we haven't seen... Have we seen Taric bans today? I feel like like in every game?
Not in every game.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen many, and we haven't seen much Taric Sona at all.
Where one team lost bans, the other team banned Morgana Taric. I remember that clearly. I'm not certain about all the others, but we have seen Taric banned at least once.
Yeah, but it's interesting how much Taric priority we saw last week, and then how much we are getting here today is kind of the case. And it was like the Ornn Taric, it was also the Morgana in the mid. Beats played that one. I think, like, underratedly, he performed very well. There was a couple of bindings here and there that, like, went astray, caught an 80 carry, and then they just get one shot before the fight starts. So I feel like Chiefs Academy certainly coming into this game as the favourites.
It's
kind of flex a little bit.
It's sort of weird. Like, it's week 2. It's sort of hard to have
like favourites. Yeah, you just have to look on paper.
But you know, you look at the lineups. You look at their games last week. UTS had a bit of a funky draft, and to me, when you're playing off meta, but it doesn't make sense in a comp. So if you're playing like Fiora Zac, for instance, to me it says like, we need to play the champs we're good at. And
it's not like
that we've built a comp around a champ that I'm good at.
Because I'm good.
For a point.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh no, I need to play Zac because I'm good. Like,
it feels like you've been forced into that situation, not something you engineered.
Yeah, and Hyper's like, well, I play Fiora, so like I have to play that. And it's not a great look. 3 top lane bans.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Straight at Thien. It's going to
the respect.
Lose the
Chief
Jace,
Academy top laner.
Lose the Riven, and lose the Ornn. And on the other side, it is going to be Vayne, Braum, and Zac. So Elite loses his one. Alani had a very, very strong Kindred game last week. And we haven't seen as much Kindred priority today.
To be fair, though, he was playing against the Camille on the chickens.
Thanks, Camille. Bombers.
So we'll see how he goes against an on-roll jungler this week. But that being said, I don't want to take anything away from Alani. His Kindred was still good.
Yeah. I feel like also in the... sorry, excuse me, in the last OCS split... Alani also one of the better OCS junglers, so it's been around for a while.
They play for Order Academy.
Yeah, Order Academy. And
I don't think they did too hot, though.
He, individually?
No, the team.
Fair, okay, yeah. So it is going to be the Akali between the two teams. Highly contested. He's going to be first pick there for UTS. Silas and Ezreal. Ezreal blind pick is fairly interesting, I have to say. Likely going to be
banned the Vayne and then picked it with Kai'Sa up. So I think there's something up. There you go. Okay, so playing extremely safe in the bottom lane here. Looking to play to their sides?
Maybe they don't. Morgana is the hotter after Tahm Kench. If they go Ezreal Tahm Kench with their Silas, you have a flexible solo, and then you have the makings of what can be just a hella 1-3-1 comp, and you have lots of things open. But the Morgana is going to get locked in. Can go towards bottom side. I expect it does well into a Nautilus matchup. That seems fairly fine, especially if you want to play it negatively. But Beats played it last week, so
mid.
could just be the mid lane blind.
Yeah, it's It's just so strong mid at the moment.
Mhm.
It's hard to justify what mid counter pick you could come up with
Yeah.
that would be better.
Mhm.
Like, you already see the Akali. Yes, it's a flex, but like, are we going to see a last pick Talon? Or, like, nothing is really going to be better than that.
Yeah, you have to
Morgana,
dig pretty
expect it-
deep.
Yeah, I expect it to go mid.
Yep.
We see 2 jungle bans, but no jungle picked by
Yeah.
Chief Academy. So really trying to pinch Leet's pool here.
Mhm.
Alani quite confident that he has something he can play.
feel
Hecarim's
like-
still on the
Yeah,
table.
Hecarim,
Kindred
Sejuani,
also.
Kindred are the big 3 that we have
See what he
seen
takes.
priority
I
in.
assume that this will be the jungle pick,
Mhm.
leaving that support flex up.
Ooh.
Alani with the Eve. Now, Alani does play a fair bit of Eve. I think
Yeah.
last year, Eve was one of his most played champs.
Mhm.
So, number of jungle bans followed with the Eve pick. I like it.
Yep. Bunch of weird ones there. Could be an Eve Kindred matchup, which
Ooh, would
Is-
be spicy.
yeah.
I think that is very volatile, that matchup.
Yes. Also, like how their ultis interact is super weird. Like if you get a
Yeah.
team fight where Eve's still
Eve
sitting in the
needs to
land's
live.
respite, yeah,
If you play it well, it's an ultra hard counter.
for
Eve.
yeah
Because she's just sitting there. She can't die. Her
Mhm.
ult does damage based on
True.
missing health.
everyone.
And she goes untargetable.
Mm.
So she can't be traded back, but she can one-shot everyone in the Kindred ult.
Yeah.
So if
That's
you play
pretty
it
good.
right, it's
Yeah.
pretty strong.
Especially when you have a Morgana shield that can potentially set up that situation, but no, old school combo
Here
in the
we go.
Renekton Elise.
That is a throwback.
Yes.
Leet with the Elise. Elise pretty good into Eve as well.
Mm.
She has that early priority. Not much Eve can do to counter gank either. Eve
Yeah.
really looking for that level 6. Eve, pretty strong level 4.
Mhm.
Can pull off a level 3 gank if you're not paying attention, if you're pushed up far, if there's no jungler
If she can wrap
to
around.
counter it.
Yeah.
But Elise, pretty good pick in the first 6 levels. So, we'll see.
This is
Hecarim,
an interesting
no
draft.
flash
Yeah.
versus Renekton Elise. Let's see.
Does he go flash? Like there are worlds where you actually take the flash because you feel like maybe
Almost
necessity.
shouldn't.
But like,
Because if you get hit by W, you're going to get cocooned anyway.
Mhm.
Maybe you can trade a kill with the Ignite.
take cleanse.
I don't think that that's bad. Like, I feel like you
Would
just
be.
said that as a troll,
Yeah.
but I genuinely don't believe that taking cleanse would be bad.
Would be an interesting one.
Because if
Certainly
you
not
can
something we've seen
cleanse and
before.
stack Conqueror, and you can heal through the burst,
if your plan is to heal through Renekton Elise burst, I think
all I'm going to say is Conqueror
suck.
is OP, and I'm not going to say anything else.
yep, okay, fair enough. But these two teams have drafted some fairly interesting things. A lot of them going back to not necessarily meta, but things they just like to play. Strong champions with the prowess. So it is an Eve Elise matchup. It is going to be Silas
It
and
is.
Akali,
Wait
and
a
it is
minute.
going to be Morgana
Yeah,
support. So
we didn't talk about that. What the keck?
what was it, Car? I could've picked that one
Akali,
up.
Silas is pretty good into Akali.
Yeah, you get
they're
her
both
ulti.
melee. You sort of think when you look at it, like, okay, they're both melee. Akali, really strong versus melee champs. Constant Q poke, has the shroud as well, fleet footwork, ton of sustain, ton of damage,
Oh,
very
sorry.
annoying. But Silas, he's got the shield, he's got the mobility, he's got the heal. When he takes
He's
your
got
ult,
CC.
when he takes your ult as well at level 6, it adds a whole new depth of complexity to the matchup. So I think pretty good on paper. Definitely outplay potential on both sides. But I have to say, I am very surprised to not see Morgana just pulling that Akali into oblivion.
I feel like the top side of the map is going to be a very difficult one for Chief Academy to navigate in the early levels. I expect Leet to spend a lot of time pathing up towards that way. And
What is
at
that,
the end
Akali
to-
skin? Chrome or something?
Yeah, well, both of them, the Silas one,
Silas, I know which skin it is, just
Mm.
Chroma.
yeah, it's a Chroma. Kali's got,
Sick.
it's like Blood Elf for Kali. Sick.
Shouts out to Blood Elves.
Great. There we go.
Okay,
Yeah,
we've
nothing
got
much happening level
Blade,
one.
Queen of Thorns? Queen of Thorns, Morgana, right?
Morgana, I hate that Morg skin.
I know, you can't see anything she does. That's the broken skin. Used
Yeah.
to be that all her abilities were invisible on stage.
Yes, if you shot your binding from a bush, it used to be invisible.
I
Now
complained
it
one
doesn't.
time.
Yeah.
In a semi-final on LAN.
Was it against me? I'm pretty sure.
Nah,
no, it was against
Direwolves.
Chuffer.
Yeah, it was against Direwolves. But I went to the ref after game 1 and I said, ref, he can't play that skin again. I literally can't see anything he's doing. and they banned it. So
Yeah.
shouts out to Riot, and that ref in particular, I can't remember who it was, but he was super sick.
Did you a favour?
Succumbing to my request.
Did you win that one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, there you go. So, you cheated. Fair enough.
Wait, did I? I don't remember. I don't think I did. Anyway.
Oh, won. I thought you meant cheated. And I'm like, wait, what? What are you admitting to right now? But this is actually an early
Here we
game
go,
on the
level
bottom
2.
side.
He's got the Cocoon.
Free level 2.
Oh,
No flashes
the-
come out. And,
Oh, that black shield.
yeah, they go into the Ezreal. He does have TP, so that's a kill. That's 300 gold. Pope is just going to TP back to lane. But
That was so
Yeah.
smart from Nausicaa and then so dumb. Taking the shield level 1, expecting that Elise.
Yep.
And then Pope just gets hooked. Nausicaa shields himself and it's first blood to UTS.
Yeah, it's strictly easier for Nausicaa to tank that one. If he puts himself forwards, and then you can,
yes.
it's quicker to
You let Ezreal in
reactively
front and then you
hit
just
Alt
shield
E,
yourself.
and because you can
Yeah,
bind
it's instant cast.
Yeah, self cast. You
Yeah.
can't bind cast on my AD carry. I think you actually can with the F1 keys. I remember looking into it
yes.
after a very long time, but it's very hard to manage.
Lead with the steal.
Ooh.
Lani no
Okay,
smite.
this is a very good start for the Elise.
And there are 4-3 points of vision now in that topside river where Alani is, and he's stuck at level 2. They know that he needs to cross all the way to bot side now to pick up his blue, and no pressure for the next minute at least from Mr. Eve.
Yeah, double buffs on the Elise has kind of his options open.
You can see the pings
Yeah.
coming out from late. He's going to check this Wraith camp as well.
Oh no,
Or
he's actually
not.
just gonna. Oh,
But he could
no,
have,
hits it
and
back
if
into
he
his
saw
own
it-
jungle.
He would have known that Elise was bot.
So he's just actually. Well, he double pinged the camp, so he knows exactly where Elise is, but and hits the scrying
No, he
orb.
doesn't know exactly where Elise was. He pinged Wraiths first, and then he pinged Wolves.
Yep.
So he's like,
She will be here.
Wraiths or Wolves, as opposed to checking Wraiths, knowing she's
Oh,
Wolves.
I read that as he's doing race, then he's doing wolves, and
Yeah,
Elise
could
is
be.
actually going to look straight
Elise is
into the mid
Silas
lane.
dashes once.
Yeah, I feel like
Dashes
potentially may
twice.
juke this one. The cocoon comes out a little bit late, does burn the flash, so Beats keeps himself alive, but this Elise is doing work early.
Yep. Completely different performance from Leap this week.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a ton of early pressure, playing the Elise instead of the Zac. Keeping up with the CS as well, more or less with Alani. Considering Alani has not put himself out there yet, that is pretty impressive. Alani does have that XP advantage though, so
Yeah.
we'll go home and we'll see what he buys and whether he chooses to gank pre-6 or not.
Yeah, and super interestingly as well, the bottom lane, the CS lead is about a wave in favor of the Ezreal. Given that he got ganked, died, TP back to lane, and now has a big wave pushing in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that wave pushing in is the
Yeah.
CS gap, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
you would expect
somewhat.
Kai'Sa to have the lead, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it could just be that he's missing him.
Yeah,
That happens too.
also speaks to somewhat of potentially
And hang
support
on.
matchup.
Can we have a look at this mid lane CS discrepancy, please?
Yeah.
So Speaks with the TP is 20 CS down.
Did get forced out earlier by that Elise gank, probably lost the majority of a wave, but
And why does he have... Oh, wait, no, because...
the Callista thing,
Yeah.
they do it all the time. There's, you have to be able to buy it when the Callista's in game to be able to bind so that you can use her ulti. If you nick Callista ulti and you haven't
But
bound
how
to
has he
someone...
stolen Callista ulti?
No, he hasn't stolen Callista ulti. He just bought the item from the shop.
Oh, so they have to include the item in the shop because
Yes.
Callista could be in the game.
And yes,
Right,
but
yeah.
she's not in the game, but the item isn't disabled, so all of the Silases just think they're bloody sick, and they buy the thing where you
buy
can
it
stab
anyway.
your allies, but then they never use them. They just have to sell it.
Well,
Yeah.
it is
you
sort
go.
of sick.
Yeah.
Hey, that's-
It's a little sick.
Got my attention.
Yeah.
But Merc Tread Rush, not a bad pickup. A lot of sort of mini CCs. We've got the Charm or the Slow.
The
We've
binding.
got to the chains from Silas.
Not to mention, just a fair amount of magic damage coming out as
Yep.
this matchup is definitely trending in a direction that I did not expect. Hyper.
Well, Hecarim is OP to start off with. Okay, like, but Elise hasn't been
Oh,
told.
here we go. The charm is coming through there from the Eve as well. Gets knocked back into melee range,
Love
and that was
that.
just a very well
Love that.
executed gank.
So
Yen and Alani
smart.
straight on the same page. Very easy. Clean pickup.
I wonder whether they spoke about it, and if they did, then you can colour me impressed. But at the end, baiting the dash out baiting out those slice and dice before the gank. Then he backs off. Lets Hyper walk back up to the wave to CS and instantly ults.
Ults behind him, knocks him back towards the Evelyn.
Alani flashes forwards and forces the issue. Hyper burns the flash and dies. The cardinal sin of getting ganked. Either you just die or you burn the flash and live. Because now he has no flash and he's behind and Alani can come back.
Yeah, because the interesting thing was that he was a little bit behind already, right? The Hecarim has had
well,
some control up there, given...
We sort of spoke about it.
Yeah.
Where has Elise been? They picked Renekton and Elise.
Yeah.
She got a lot done.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen her in a little while. Alani's now 6, so that's sort of that window for Leet rapidly closing. Fuzzy Zola
just went
also
to...
slowly losing this lane. Now that Beats can take that ultimate, he doesn't have as much pressure as earlier, and he's going to burn the TP now.
That may just be Elise soloing out the dragon here. I'm not sure which one it is.
I think it was like a water or something poopy.
But has repelled over the wall, has a pink in the pit as well, so he's not absolutely not spotted out. But is it a water dragon? Let's take a cheeky look at its wing. It will go down, 1000 HP. Elise does them fairly well, able to tank up with Spiderlings. Water Dragon is my least favorite dragon, not because of the active, because when it hits you, you're just useless.
You're so slow.
You're just so useless.
Oh, hang on, 1v1.
No ulti here from the Hecarim. Alani is around as Hyper is committed. No flash available for the Renekton. Charm does not quite land, but it doesn't even matter. Kill goes over to the horse, and once again, Hyper falls down.
Appreciate the attempt there, but he had ult advantage. Alani, he hit that 6 mark, and no one's safe now.
Certainly is. A little bit of 1v1 trading here as
and yeah, again, I'm not a mid laner, but I'm pretty sure that this is how this lane goes. Pre-6, Kali, melee matchup. Kali very good in those matchups, but as soon as Silas can sort of steal that ult, he has so much sustain.
Difficult this is
for Kali to contest.
Very annoying.
This is...
do they think he's underneath the turret?
No, they're waiting for him to return.
I'm just surprised Alani isn't sitting in the bush if he's waiting for him to return.
No, why would he? No, because he gets more vision this way. And now he can walk away.
Fair enough. There we go. Ulti comes out. Hyper gets the dash away, but does not get the dice. Knocks him back. Flash not available, and he is just dead to rights. Very well executed, very well prepared there. And Chiefs Academy just picking.
At least looking for the collapse, though. He doesn't know exactly where Alani is, but he knows he's roughly in this area. And Alani's going to have to tank the tower. Oh, the stun lands.
Fuzzy Zola rotating up the river as well. Repel's going to close some of the gap. No flash, no ulti available.
One ult down.
He's going to be the cleanup. And
beautiful play out of Fuzzy Zola and Leet there.
That's just
and
a
double
very
kill
nice
in the bottom
punish.
lane.
Nausicaa and Poke, they fall down. Flashes burnt across the board. 4 summoners there from UTS, and that's a huge swing play.
Just as we thought that Chiefs were maybe taking control of this game, UTS turn it on its head. We've got a solo kill in the bottom lane, 2v2, and then a massive turnaround. Alani, unfortunately, stuck between an Elise and a tower and gets forced to tank.
That's a huge swing.
The ult usage from Fuzzy Zola as well. Uses R1, followed by the E, followed by R2 ignite, saves his flash, and having those early Merc treads paying off dividends.
Nausicaa.
Paying dividends, rather.
He's behind his mid laner here.
Conqueror fully stacked. Just notice he had Conqueror and not
Fleet Footwork. Looks for the E, can't quite find it. Didn't have access to the ulti either, so potentially just poking in and out. Silas does have his, so it would be a little bit of a mismatch.
Beats trying to deny the cannon creep there, but unfortunately is forced to hit the enemy cannon, which stops the damage and clears a wave. And this game is going to enter a lull.
Yep. Leet looking to solo out another objective. Actually brings down the Renekton, so got the Ocean Dragon earlier. Now looking for the Rift Herald. Has actually, in a surprising fashion, we expected him to go and play much towards Hyper side of the map, but he's ganked bot, he's ganked mid successfully, and then has gone, he soloed out the Dragon, he soloed out the Rift Herald, has done a significant amount of this early game. Alani has been able to answer back, and certainly is not in a bad position, but...
Well, that's level 2 gank bottom lane. I think Beat's got all in here.
Ooh.
That's ult 1.
Yeah, it does have it still available. Alani is waiting in...
Is he going to use it? Ult 2. He's running out.
With his timeout, he uses it to go top side.
That level 2 gank bot, I think, has been hugely influential. We didn't maybe see the ramifications immediately.
Yeah.
And this double kill in the bot lane, you can probably put it down to someone made a micro mistake and And you can say, well, that first kill probably wasn't relevant because if you made this mistake at 0-0, probably would have died either way. But it fits my narrative a lot better if I can say he died early and then they got solo killed afterward because of that gank.
Oh. That's what it's about. This matchup is kind of weird in that when you're now in this situation past level 6, Frolic just hooks and Nausicaa doesn't want to blow the shield. Because if he blows shield on the hook target, then he himself just gets ultied, he is dead to rights, and then someone will die guaranteed.
If you max the hook, does it break the shield like with Thresh?
I don't believe so. If she's also, like, she can put points in the shield.
Lani's down here, and UTS want to play aggro because Kaiser's 3-0, but binding could mean death for Frolic. He has no flash, and he's probably going to hook aggressively.
Will be a 3v3, and Beats does have the first strike.
Hook
That binding somehow lands. Poke looking to deal some damage, but Frolic puts himself in between. Very nice ulti. Alani gets himself out of the cocoon. Nausicaa goes in, he pops the stopwatch and the ulti as everybody's just trading back and forth. Another very nice binding on the back end. Somehow Cadence is still alive, and they do get the kill onto Nausicaa.
Nice body block there from Frolic, and all in all, a pretty well-played skirmish. I mean, Alani uses that ult to escape the cocoon. We see stopwatch burned on the Morgana ult as well, but unfortunately, Manamune versus Stormrazor.
One of them does significantly more damage.
For Pope to do, to be in.
Earth Dragon. To do.
Fuzzy
Zola. Look at the fight, he does get the stun. Pope still has access to E, but no ulti on the Eve. That's a very easy cleanup. Fuzzy Zola on the Akali 2 weeks in a row.
Love the target prioritization
very
there
well
from Fuzzy Zola. So, you know, 3/4 half health-ish, no flash Ezreal in front of him, and he says, nah,
give me that
I want the other one.
Yeah. Cleans him
Good
up.
ass play. Good ass play.
What?
That's what you said earlier, and I'm repeating it now. If you've
I
only
said
just
that-
tuned in, I want you to know that.
I said because of free ass boots.
No.
And that's a
you
League of
definitely
Legends
said
term.
Good ass play.
Yeah.
You said free ass boots after.
Yeah, but that was my point. But now you've just put a pause in there, which just makes me very uncomfortable. Beats. Nautilus ulti. He's going to turn this one around. Fuzzy Zola still in the shroud binding.
Nausicaa just
barely scrapes him and
tickling Fuzzy's toes there.
Yeah, it
with
doesn't
the, Morgana
connect.
bind.
Tickles his toes.
That's gotta feel bad. Imagine League of Legends was real life and you were like running away. Morgana casts a spell and just like nicks your pinky toe.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
your whole body's stuck.
But then you can't move at all.
Yeah. You're snared through your pinky toe.
Snared or bound?
I mean, it's called
Which do you
bound because
prefer?
it's a binding. It is a snare. The CC is a the CC is actually a root.
The CC is a root. There is no snare and there's no bind.
I mean, no, the ability is a snare. The CC that it applies is a root, and the ability is called. And you say bound. You say bound because it's called dark binding.
Okay, so the CC is a root.
Yes.
But it's a snare. Explain that to me.
Like the ability, she throws a snare, and it roots you. I feel like I've made this up.
Does she?
But
maybe it works. I don't know. I'm sort of inclined to say, like, shouldn't she throw a root? Or...
Because I'm thinking, like...
saying binding makes sense, because it's what the ability is called.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have 3 words for the same thing.
Yes. Potentially. As there may just be a skirmish on the bottom side, so our useless conversation aside, Fuzzy Zola goes into Shroud. Frolic is looking for the flank. He doesn't know where Alani is, so looking to get onto the Silas. Fuzzy Zola doing as much as possible. Gets the ulti. One gets himself away. Hook is going to land as well. No! Beats with the last minute dodge and the recommit. Alani now into the fray. The TP from Thean gets himself behind. Nausicaa gets it to the backside. The ulti comes out. Leak repels himself away, but that was such a nice turnaround here from Chiefs Academy. Dodging out from the CC. 2 for 0 on the trade, and they come up with the goods.
Big fumble there from UTS. Fuzzy Zola uses his entire combo on the Aftershock from Beats, so he does no damage despite the Conqueror being fully stacked. Frolic, rather. Then follows up with a flash forwards into the ult, into a barely missed hook. But unfortunately, if you miss all your stuff and keep walking forwards, you will die. And Thien punishes them with the TP advantage.
Yes.
Oh, baits out that ult and...
Does he actually commit? He does. Cocoon is available, and that's exactly what she wrote. Late, right place, right time. Thien gets baited in this time, not the reverse, and...
You gotta wonder...
It's a dead horse.
ult disadvantage. Whether he would have one-shot him there, Thien seems to think so.
Yeah, I feel like if Renekton lands the W, then that's Fury stacks, that's the heal, and then there's no way the Hecarim can actually get that kill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to give Thien the benefit of the doubt there and say that
It's much better
he
Hecarim
probably
than both of
knows
us.
how much damage he
I'm
does.
actually not. I don't think he kills him there at all. I don't give him the
I
benefit
reckon he
of the
was
doubt.
pretty... If he doesn't, it's very close.
I mean, yeah.
Because he's got the Conqueror. Like, he had Conk stacked. So he lives, gets a heals, true damage.
You just love Conqueror so much.
I hate Conqueror. That's why I pointed it out all the time.
Ah.
In the hopes that Jat is watching.
Yeah, the right
He
balance
fixed it.
team. That's what you want. Okay, it's got ulterior motives. But this game, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. Not a whole lot of objectives to play for right now. Frolic sort of playing with fire. But gold lead is fairly even. Both teams within touching difference. 1,000 gold lead here for UTS.
Both teams sort of able to see each other there and throwing out those skill shots, trying to check who has the wards.
Who has their hand on the mouse?
Called a ward check. It's a new term coined by me,
Oscarbon.
at Oscarbon. Follow me for no tweets. Tweet once a week and it's usually bad.
This is another top lane gank.
Right,
And
but
looking
no magic
forward,
resist
no
means he's
ulti
probably gonna
available
get
for the
one shot.
Renection. The Charm doesn't actually come through there, but Thiem with the ulti picks him up, the Stampede, and 0-4 on the Renekton. Very rough time in the top side, but on the other side of the
So
map.
lands the E, but
Yeah.
not much doing there. Oh, Aftershock is available. It's pretty tough for Fuzzy to do too much 1v1. And it looks like they might just try to pressure him off this bot tower here.
And you can see, despite what's going on, like there's a lot of skirmishes back and forth. This game is incredibly close, but Chiefs are committed to the top side. Putting all of their ganks, all of their resources into the Renekton. At this point, if there is no counter gank, it's a fairly reliable kill. It seems easy to execute if
No
one CC
shield.
lands.
Leaf actually does a fair bit of damage.
Ooh. Yeah.
2 times he tried to bait out the binding. Nausicaa holds it the entire time. Balls of steel on the Morgana. Don't ask me.
So, Binding. Dodged out there by Fuzzy Zola. A little bit of damage onto the turret. Cocoon falls a little bit short. Doesn't quite have the length there, but now with Thien missing off the map, rotating down the river, he will be spotted on a couple of wards if he does commit to this one. So I expect UTS not to continue pushing to this play. Had an opportunity, got some damage, but here we go. 1v1. Silas versus the Akali. Does so much damage even through the Shroud. But
Alani's there. Fuzzy might bait himself.
does he
with the
commit to the
all-in.
play? No.
Did land that
Alani?
shuriken, but
Hasn't shown on any vision, and now the Shroud is on cooldown for at least another couple of seconds.
Fuzzy
You can see
knows
it in the
now.
bottom left.
He has
7
the
seconds
ult, though.
available. Charm does end up landing. Very easy cleanup, and Akali gets another kill. That's 7 stacks on the Medjais, and he's steaming ahead.
yeah, even missing that Q, as long as you can get into melee distance. The second Q is not a targeted ability, so Fuzzy was always going to get hit by that charm, and Eve is slowly snowballing. Picks up a kill in the top lane, picks up a kill in the bottom lane. Frolic
Gets
might be
himself
next.
A little bit of distance, and it is enough to buy enough space. No charm, no binding can land. And
But looking back at that top lane, Hecarim scales a little bit better
Yeah.
than Renekton. I mean, neither are amazing in the hyper late game, but certainly in that sort of middle late
Yeah.
2-3
I feel like-
item area, Hecarim can still do a lot. Whereas
Yeah.
Renekton, you know,
he's not as bad as he used to be. With the
No.
introduction of Shojin and I think a couple of changes, like Renekton still can, realistically, like solo and AD carry in a team fight.
yeah,
Like, you pop your ulti, you don't die immediately. If he doesn't get bound or, like, charmed or anything,
still so far away though.
then, like, if you get onto a carry, you do significant
From the Shojin,
damage.
sorry, I mean.
Yeah. That is certainly somewhat of
Fuzzy's
a
going to face
luxury.
check
Thien.
Thien. Not sure about how this one goes for Thien. He has no
Eve
magic
is
resist. and
around.
Fuzzy is quite strong.
Oh, he's
He's
actually
also
going back
right here.
into it. Cocoon gets buffed with the ulti, and he
Whoa.
knows his damage this time. Picks up the kill. Frolic flashes over the wall, and Thien may just pay for it with his life. But
Oh, the golems!
oh,
No.
1 for
Triumph.
1 is the trade. Almost gets the twofer, but Frolic with the save.
Imagine if Triumph wasn't in the game. How many kill trades would we see if
Yeah.
there was no Triumph? We see so many non-traded kills nowadays.
Like, barely.
Like where you win by 2 HP
Mm.
and then you don't die to a range creep
I will
auto
say,
that's following you.
Triumph has always existed. It used to be called something
Yes,
else, and I forget
yes.
what it is.
More or less, and it's more or less always been taken also.
It's always been a good rune,
Yes,
Mm.
but
or a mastery.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's more relevant now.
Mm.
I feel like I never used to talk about whatever it used to be called.
I feel like
As much as I talk about Triumph now.
it may just be the burden of choice, because you used to have runes, you used to have masteries, and you used to have 30 of them. Or at least 30
it could
points,
be that it
but
was
now
just
it's all
in
been
the
consolidated.
tree. I feel like it was in Red Tree, the old one, and not every champion took it. Whereas
It was in Middle Tree, when we had like masteries.
we had green, blue, and red, right?
Which one was the red one? You had
Red was
offense,
left. I thought-
defense.
Yeah, red was left,
something else.
green was middle, and then blue was last.
What? It was definitely in middle. It was like top right
Red
of
was
middle.
middle?
It was like
I
the
don't
10th
remember.
point in middle. I have no clue.
I don't know either. The point is,
It's always good.
Triumph is strong rune.
Yep.
Take it if you can.
22 minutes now into this game. Gold lead 2,000 in the hands of Chief Academy as Baron has spawned. Ward is there, so I'm surprised Nautica didn't actually throw a binding. Are they just going to start up the
Start it.
Baron? They are.
They do a lot of damage to it. They
and
do hit the
Alani
Kai'Sa.
are on the other side of the map, and I believe Alani did just show in a pink ward, so they know something is up. The TP is
coming.
committing.
Jungler is not nearby, so if they commit
Ezreal
to this, it's
ulti
gone.
comes through. 3,000 is the HP. Beats is in for the fight, but Smite is not going to be there. Kai'Sa somehow picks up the Baron, and the fight it shoots the end. Comes in from the side, cleans up the first kill, goes over the wall. Beats is just barely living on the
How
back
many
end, but he
Barons
does
can they
lose
save?
his life. 3 Barons for that sort of play. Probably worth at this point. It's a 2-for-1 of the kills,
You
but
definitely take it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
gold
walk away.
even. Alani's just picked up the last few kills. Momentum definitely in the Chiefs' hands, and UTS just roll the dice on one, and they roll a 5.
yeah, at the end of the day, it wasn't a roll of the dice. That pink ward just above red buff on bottom side spotted out Alani. It was after they started the Baron, but they knew they could commit. They see him on that side of the map, and it's like it's an Eve. She just has to walk.
Yeah.
She can't get here quickly if we just hard commit to the Baron.
I feel like
They
at
throw a
22
CC
minutes.
at Beats.
Oh, that. Oh, he's got QSS.
Yeah, does he have anything else available?
Can't
Doesn't have the
one-shot
ulti.
him.
The end doesn't have
He
ulti
lives.
to continue, so Frolic keeps the rest of them busy, and somehow Cadence face checks and lives.
QSS third, guys.
Okay.
Any budding 80 carries out there? QSS, it doesn't do damage, but it will save your life. Dead men don't do deeps. Unless you're Karthus.
Yep.
Dead men sometimes do deeps. Dead women also.
Yep.
Say something.
Fair enough.
Okay. Baron buff.
Yeah.
Middle lane. Tower's not very healthy, but they're going to give it up and take bottom instead.
Not a lot of members around. They were just clearing out some of the vision in the river. Double TP is available there for
Rani
Beats
is
and
here.
Poke,
Can
so
she one-shot the Akali?
Ozzy
Akali no
Zola
shroud.
is actually getting engaged on here. Alani, of
The end
course,
is
has
also
the ulti to
bot.
get himself away. No
UTS are
shroud.
collapsing though.
No vision in the bush, so knocks him actually back towards the rest of his team. May just have to pop the ulti to get out of the cocoon here. At the end, in a spot of bother. Lead is holding on to it. That's exactly what happens.
Hyper is
Hyper
stuck,
off
though.
towards the side. Is getting engaged on. The Nord is looking for more. CC auto attacks galore, and all 10 members on your screen. They do shake hands and just walk away. A couple of summoners burnt here and there.
Everybody shows up bots. The only consequence really is that bot tier 1 falls. A little bit of extra gold in the UTS bank. She's still with a 1.5k lead. Quick math.
Quick math. That is Baron taken off the table, and given that they've had the buff for a couple of minutes, and it was the pick onto Cadence, and he has to recall, reset the map. They go bot side, it's a 5v5. Nobody dies, so they reset the map. UTS really did stall the game out with that Baron. It was trending in Chief's direction, but they haven't been able to progress their game plan any further with this one, but it really just has created this lull, which is probably good for them. They need to get to their item spikes. They need to start scaling up.
I agree with you. I think the big thing here, though, is this tier 1 mid tower.
Yeah.
This tier 1 falling means that UTS are finally able to get some mid priority. And that's going to open up the rest of the map for them. Also, the gold, of course, helps. But Chief Academy's win condition is 1-3-1. Well, I should say 2-2-1, right? They're relying on Eve to force picks in the side lane.
Yeah.
Eve mid is going to have a hard time killing Cadence, particularly now that he has the QSS. And if they try to kill Frolic, Cadence is fed enough that he could probably trade a kill back.
Yep.
So Alani's looking for any opportunity he can find in the side lane. And now that mid tier 1 is down, UTS hopefully can force the issue a little bit more as a unit.
That could be it. Eve, not the best champion, as you mentioned. Talk about like the...
Oh, that was a cocoon to the
Actually,
face,
yeah,
and
Morgana's
Noska's dead.
just gonna-
All in here.
Gonna cop it. Thean and Fuzzy Zola once again looking for this play. Alani has arrived. This is the pick in the side lane we're talking about. No Shroud, no life. Akali falls down 45 seconds on the death timer, but as we saw, Morgana fell too, so 1-for-1 across the board, but you would trade the mid for support.
Fuzzy Zola, seeing that Leap got a solo kill, thinks, hey, hang on.
Yep.
I want to get involved in that. I'll get my own solo kill. Unfortunately, win condition for the Chiefs. Strikes again. Alani in that side lane just continues to find these Magi stacks. And
Yeah.
Eve, not an amazing team fighter, but if she has 1,000 AP,
Yes.
she's still going to hurt.
There's a whole lot of damage. Beats has himself an Nautilus ulti, so maybe able to defend this turret with his team walking over.
Alani is here.
Chooses
The
not
end
to
does
throw
not
it
have
just
TP,
yet.
though, so this is going to be a difficult team fight.
Yeah, but neither does
4v
Fuzzy Zola. 5 seconds on
Yeah,
his
but,
death
I mean, do
timer.
you want to take a
and
4v4 skill check when your most fed member is in the bottom lane?
underneath the turret, potentially could have defended, but as you mentioned, they could just play the slow game, trade the turrets 1-for-1. PN on the other side just gets the trade and they do just back away.
It does.
But going to be another Ocean Drake, third of the game. Chiefs kind of stacking these ones up as we trend towards the next Baron. That will be the biggest point of contention. 1 minute on the clock before that one happens. And taking a look at the summoners, almost everything available. Cadence doesn't have Flash, neither does Hyper, so Chiefs Academy certainly coming in strong to this one. If they get the engage they want,
What does that look like, though?
backside.
You want a Thien with a home guard flank, I guess?
Yeah, you need Beats and Thien
I
in the
don't know if-
backside.
I
You
don't
need
know
one
if
of
you
those,
really want
those scrappy fights.
Do they want a team fight?
Not necessarily.
I mean, they keep killing them in the side lane. UTS aren't learning. Baron is spawning, so that's going to mean it gives you
This
an
is the-
obvious
yeah, it forces you to
objective
group, yeah.
to group around. But Alani continually finds these picks, and I would avoid team fighting for as long as that's working. I mean, you know, if you go 2 minutes without seeing any opportunity and you feel like UTS are managing their side waves really well, maybe you don't look at it, but here comes a Silas TP.
Here
I
it
wonder
comes.
what
Bit of a
ulti has.
flank. That's a lot of damage onto Cadence. QSS buys him some time, as does the ulti. Alani actually goes for the backline, but
Alani
he
flashes
gets
in. He's got
absolutely
one shot.
nothing done. The Eve falls down. Nautilus getting incredibly low. He's chased out.
Hyper's
Beats
on
with
his
a nice
way. He
change
has
there,
the flank.
but flank there from the Renekton, as you say. Can't quite find his way in. Doesn't choose to commit to that one, so it is the 1-for-1 once again. Jungle for support, but this time the flipped teams, and
They know he's in
Renekton,
there somewhere.
they have no idea
but
where
they're
he
not
is.
sure where. And this is sort of where you find yourself in a reverse collapse because
Oh, Norza gets in
Hyper
trouble.
hasn't been noticed, and he's going to face check the whole team.
Does he get the stun? He does. Beats gets CC'd. Merctrades gets himself out of that one.
Fuzzy
Tien
uses
shows
ult
his
1,
face.
uses ult 2 immediately to get back out, and we're going to reset the map position. Oh, Cadence looking for some cheeky damage onto Beats. The trade means that Agency definitely in Cadence hands with home guard TP
Round
coming
2
in.
on the TP. Kaiser ulti is there for Beats if he can deal any sort of damage. He's going to use it off the back end of that charge. Cadence, no QSS, no heal, no flash, no ability to get out, and he falls down. Round number 2 with the TP flank, and this one works.
Cadence absolutely trampled there. No sums, no ult. Nothing to do except
Die.
hold himself tightly and call for his mum.
Baron is now started up here. Alani
Alani's not in the pit, and they know that, so
getting onto Hyper, but you can see the priority is getting into the pit. They do have someone tanking it up right
it's a
now.
Kali
Thien
Shroud.
doesn't
Yeah,
take
Thien's looking for the
damage.
engage here.
Oh, very nice repel. Gets himself out of the charge. Lead is trying to buy as much time as possible. Beats looks for a big play with an auto ulti, but
Fuzzy.
unfortunately
Ooh,
can't
smart
find
Morgana
it.
ult.
They do find the initial kill. Thien still chasing off the backside. Lead is desperately trying to live, but you cannot outrun the horses. E will come up eventually. No repel available. Auto attack and the Q is enough to clean that one out. No smite, no contest. 9,000 on the HP, but this is going to be Baron number 2 for Chiefs Academy.
Yes, 2 team fights in a row, sort of where Chiefs Academy coming out ahead. Like the proactivity, 2 TP flanks. Then forcing the issue around Baron. Thien with that black shield is very difficult to deal with.
Yes.
9-3, has that Spirit
Level
Visage,
17.
has the Triforce. There's a couple extra levels as well. Very difficult for the UTS team to do anything, especially without
Ooh,
Kaiser.
binding.
Flash bind. I like the attempt from Frolic to get some extra distance by hooking the Evelyn, but unfortunately,
Yep.
the binding lands anyway. Another kill for Chief Academy.
Yeah, and the staggered deaths really hurt. There's something you don't really think about, but if you all die at the same time, it's like, okay, you lose X amount and that's it. Once you get back on the map, you can look to defend, but when it's a staggered death after death, they set up the map, they get the vision, then they find another pick, then they get something else, and it's not just like the one thing. You're just constantly ceding priority, and Chiefs Academy are kind of doing whatever they please, so Frolic has 10 seconds before they are back up on the map. Leet is just trying to maintain as much vision as possible.
Yes, I think the saving grace for UTS here is just these 80 carries. Ezreal's TP becomes less and less useful as the game goes on. He's also got an incredibly defensive build.
Yeah.
He's gone for Luden's Fist,
and the Hex Drinker.
Merc Dreads and a Hex Drinker. Whereas Cadence has that full DPS build, more or less, does have the QSS and the Hex, but he's going to be pumping out a ton of deeps when he finally gets his 6 items.
And they're doing a really good job of actually protecting him in these fights. Of course, he has his own QSS and his own ulti, but Frolic getting work done with his ulti, the CC, Hyper standing in the way. So Cadence is...
the UTS side looking for something in that top side jungle where they have some pinks, hoping to find a face checker, but I mean, Chief Academy, they had a plan at the start of the game, and they have a plan now. It's the same thing. It's let the end push as far as you can, and make sure Alani's standing behind him.
It looks to be working. The top inner turret is going to fall down. Beats made short work of that one. Just trying to pressure all across the map, break down the entire inner ring. The mid turret is the only one left standing. Frolic is going on another adventure. Once again, bringing his jungler with him as well, and Beats may have just stepped slightly too far forward. Does have the Akali ulti to buy a bit of distance, but you cannot escape the Nort ulti. All but a stopwatch. Cadence has arrived as well. Beats attempting to get a trade kill. It looks like the 1-for-1, but no. Inhib does fall on the bottom side of the map. Alani, Thean linking up once again, so they don't get nothing for their cause, but UTS, they do find the singular pick.
Great usage of the stopwatch there from Leet.
Yeah.
Knowing that Beats still had his second proc of Akali ult. If that was a 1-for-1 trade, I think we would have seen 2 inhibs fall.
Yeah, 2 inhibs the game.
Potentially.
Yeah.
1 inhib, not the end of the world. It is a good inhib to lose in the sense that Hyper can just sit bot for as long as the game goes. He has TP. He's just going to catch up in XP and farm. Assuming... Oh, that was a lot of damage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was... She did 2k instantly to that blue buff.
Yeah. Got a Rabadons. Lost a couple of stacks last time he died, so Medjai isn't tracking anywhere near 25, but still, as you mentioned, look at his AP value, 609, so...
Really expecting Thean to
definitely
throw a Q
hurts.
there and nick that wolf on the way through. Doesn't.
Gets himself a red buff, though, potentially. No, he's actually going to give that one to the Ezreal.
Saw a tome bought and used, and then 2 pinks picked up by the Eve, so looking like we're going to see some top-side vision control out of the Chief lineup. No Baron, but there is a inhib to be taken.
Yeah, this is the side of map they want to play on, right? They have the 6-man. The super creeps in the bottom side will eventually just push in if they give it enough time. So, step up towards top side. Alani hasn't been spotted on any vision.
Lingering vision advantage for when the next Baron spawns, which is hugely beneficial if it doesn't immediately get cleared.
Ooh. This is potentially
Hang on.
exactly what they did last week, but it was the Galio in the hands of Frolic. If you remember, they got that huge team fight under their own inner.
Kai'Sa
W
checks
flash,
for
so
teammates with the W through the fog. Alani,
do they
here
actually
we go.
commit onto Thean? He does have the ulti to buffer if he chooses to, and that is going to be the decision.
Yeah.
Ulti gets himself out, but if you're UTS, you take that trade.
is a
Short
great
cooldown
trade.
on the Nord ulti. You buy yourselves more time. And Thean just has to back away.
Yep, smart play there not to overcommit. They didn't know where the Morgana was, and as soon as that Black Shield gets onto Hecarim, there is nothing more that UTS can do. So they trade ult for ult. Hecarim does have a lot of CDR, but then again, so does the Nautilus.
Is the case. 1 minute left on the Baron timer. Big team fight probably will erupt at that time, but Chiefs Academy just looking to do as much as possible between that point, kind of just wanting to keep them in the base. You talked about lingering vision advantage. If they just keep UTS shepherded within the walls of their base, confined, then they can't get any vision. All of a sudden, they're stepping through every ward that you've placed down, and you've had time to reset. You set up the Baron, they have to face check you. You can throw bindings, you can get flanks, you can basically get anything you want if you're Chiefs Academy, so...
And it's about
the play.
The reason I call it an advantage and not vision control is because, we're seeing a TP in the dark here.
Ooh.
Wonder if UTS
Double TP.
are seeing these.
Yeah, they just want to defend their vision.
He has the GA, so they maintain that vision control, which is frankly a good play. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, the later you get into the game, the less those TPs are sort of used for combat, and the more they are for positioning. So I don't mind the early TP there.
Yeah, it just speaks to exactly what they want to do. They want to go for the full 5v5, and look where Alani is positioned. They're not looking to secure the Baron. Their smite is not in the pit. They just want someone to face check. It probably will be the Akali, and
about to die.
Alani is
It's got so much health, actually. Oh wait,
looking
never
to
mind.
face
Sorry.
check. And
I was like, they've been on this Baron for so long,
Yeah.
but Ezreal does no damage.
yeah, that is the thing. Prolog getting incredibly low as is Cadence on the backside, but will get himself over the wall. Unfortunately for him, the rest of the team is falling by the wayside. Big Akali damage into the backside, and it may just be the turnaround of the fight, but no, Chiefs Academy, they picked that one up. Alani with the ultimate. Hyper doing as much as he can. Flash will buy himself some time as he slices and dices himself to safety. Leet is the final target by Theon, but you can see pings onto the inhib. Bottom lane is the trajectory, and Chiefs just want to close out this game.
Thought we might see a hero moment there from Cadence
Yeah.
as he ulted into the backline. A lot of low HP bars on the side of Chief Academy. But unfortunately, he gets squashed. Much like the rest of his teammates did throughout this game. And
Yeah.
Chief's just going to look to end. Hyper does cut the wave, but I
Yeah,
don't think
doesn't
it's
cut
going
all
to
of
mean
it.
too much. Frolic up in 5. Will he have an impact?
Absolutely not. The 1 versus 3 has no option but to walk into that one. Nexus will be the target after he falls down. So Renekton does not die. Hyper maintains somewhat of his KDA, but he loses the game. And Chiefs Academy, that's 2.
Maintains the 0.5 KDA.
Yeah, he does. He did. He did turn into
0.6
0.6.
is the cutoff point.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, you don't. You don't
But,
0.5 either.
Yeah, Chief Academy, that's a 2-0 start to the season. Looking very strong so far.
I feel like, are they? Like, both this game and last week's game, at no stage did I really think that the other team was going to win. Right?
You
Both
mean,
times
like-
I felt like Chiefs were in control and Chiefs were sort of always going to win. In my gut, I was
Okay.
like, Chiefs are going to win, Chiefs are going to win, Chiefs. And then they won. But in both games, we've seen pretty back and forth performances.
Okay.
Like some team fights going one way, team fights going the other way. Baron getting picked up. The gold was always in Chiefs' favor, but momentum wasn't necessarily.
I mean, they're not the quickest games we've seen in the OCS so far, by no means. Like, they're not the
No.
biggest stomps, and, like, I don't think I mean, we're 2 games deep, and not even 2 games deep for all of the teams, so
That's
it'd be hard to look at people and be like, this team is just
This
the
is
best.
the team. Yep.
Because
agreed.
also, it's not like OPL schedule where you have, like, triple round robin. This is 12 teams and 11 weeks of games, so everybody plays everybody once. So it's not like you get the recurring, like,
Right. So-
you
well-
can see how everybody stacks up against Chiefs and the season isn't ended. If you've played against every team, then the season is over. You're heading into playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's hard to say. Like, Chiefs, I think, have looked fairly good. Theon had a much better performance today than he did last week.
Absolutely. Huge carry from
They
him
played
today.
around him. Alani has had
Yep.
2 very strong showings on different champions,
Yes.
the Kindred and the Eve.
I liked that from Alani. Something different. Played also to the win condition really well.
Yeah.
I like when I see players play the champ sort of thematically, and I don't mean to theme as in like the lore.
lore.
I mean like the strategic theme.
I'm in the shadows.
I was going to say something about she's like a succubus, but
Oh, okay.
it was not
Let's-
appropriate
yeah,
for broadcast.
no.
No, but I mean in a thematic, strategically thematic. So an Eve, you expect to take numbers advantage fights to pick people off when they're not expecting it and to play
Yeah.
to side lanes. And I feel like that's exactly what Alani did.
Yeah, okay.
The converse to that is something like a Karthus who flash forwards at level 4 to
Oh,
gank
I'm
bot
just going to
lane.
call him out like that.
Well,
yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying because it wasn't a bad play.
Yeah, they got
it's just not
got a kill.
within what you
It's not
expect a
thematic.
Karthus to do.
Yeah.
It's not strategically thematic.
Okay.
And I like players who do what their champion's supposed to do and they make it work. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what Alani did. So thumbs up to him.
I have no idea.
It's a new concept.
Like what on earth you're saying, but sure.
Come on,
Jeez,
that makes sense.
It like somewhat, to
what
some
do you mean
degree.
somewhat?
So-
Explain to me. Poke the hole. Where does
it's
it not
just,
make
you
sense?
just said a whole lot of garbage. That's all I'm going to say.
What?
Look, I'm the
That
host.
literally makes
You're
so
the
much
guest.
sense.
I don't care. We're going to a
Holy
3-minute
moly.
break. Game number 3 is going to be the last one of the day. Order Academy
press
versus
1 if you
the
hate
Dire
Egypt.
Cubs. And
1.
just shut up. Just turn this guy off.